Jane with TechTPaintball.com, and today we are looking at the TechT Lightning Rod upgrade for your Cyclone feed system, whether that be on a 98, an A5, or an X7. So I've got my X7 here. We're going to go ahead and take off the Cyclone feed and show you how it's done. We've got the Cyclone feed removed from the X7. Now you don't have to do this when you work on your gun, but it is easier for me to show you what's going on, and it's actually easier for me to work on it this way. So I've been removing all the screws off the bottom plate. This is the last one. I'm just going to take this out and gently remove the bottom plate. Make sure nothing goes flying all over the place. Pull up, and you hear that click, and pull the QPH system off. This right here is what the lightning rod is going to replace. Now that we've got the QPH system removed, you can see all the internals of the Cyclone feed. Now, to get to this rod, it is important that you remove everything. So first, I'm going to remove the spring. And then, we'll want to turn it over and remove the paddles. Make sure you hold on to those. They're kind of hard to get out sometimes. And don't lose that washer. Now, it's going to have a tendency to want to push itself out, so when you flip it over, be real careful. This entire assembly now should come right off. We've got the rod and ratchet system here. Now the first thing you'll want to do is take out this axle because we don't want to wreck it during the process. So let's pull this out. Should click. Be careful because there is a small spring and a small item in there that you want to keep in there. Now if they do fall out, make sure you're putting them in correctly. Next step is to grab the nut from your Cyclone feed to help you start the process. I'm going to flip this around and put it down. Grab a punch and a hammer. Now this is just simply to help you start, so be careful when you're done hammering. Good hits should allow you to get it all the way out. Whoops. So that got out pretty easily. Now you don't have to worry too much about that pin because Tech does provide you with one. The next step is to remove the rod from the ratchet system. Once you've done so, go ahead and remove the rod from the spring. You'll grab your TechT Lightning rod and slip that through the spring. We've got all our pieces here, but there's a couple things I need to show you. First, the pin that TechT has provided you has a smooth side and a grooved side. What that means is the grooved side will always go in last and the smooth side goes in first. Also, your ratchet should be upside down. This is the bottom side of the Cyclone feed. This would be on the top side of your Cyclone feed. Make sure that it's going through the bottom and out the top. So I'm going to get my pin in as much as I can. And then we'll want to just hammer until it gets to about here, right before the opening. A little bit more. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and place the lightning rod in place. Try and line it up if you can. Put it down gently so it doesn't move. Grab your hammer. And try and get it all the way through. This might get a little tricky and feels like you might need a third hand to do it. But a little practice and a little time, that should not be an issue. Alright, now that we've gotten the pin in, we're going to go ahead and start putting everything else back together. Now before we start assembling everything, make sure that this pin is flush, so it's not sticking out on either side, because it will make a difference when reinstalling everything. Grab your axle again, and gently push the components back a little bit. Now, this gets kind of tricky, but you want to push and twist and pull down at the same time until it snaps into place. Next step, grab your Cyclone feed housing, lay this in for right now, and flip it over. As you remember, we had taken the paddles out, so let's get those put back in. There is a groove that it has to fit into, so make sure you're lining that up correctly. There we are. Don't forget the washer that comes on the screw. And get that screw back in. Now, carefully flip it back over. Replace your spring into position. And put your QEPH system back on. Now the trick to getting this back in is you'll want to push the donut in and push the entire assembly down until it snaps into place. Last couple things, remember to put this nut back in, replace your bottom plate, and put all your screws back in. Now, you're going to put this back on your gun just as you had taken it off. And you should be finished. We've got the Cyclone system put back on our X7. Now the great thing about the TechT Lightning rod is it's lighter and more durable and machined more precisely than the original was. With just the Lightning rod though, you're not going to notice too big of a difference and it won't change your game. But if you wanted something that would give you that significant increase with your Cyclone feed, look into the entire TechT kit, which includes the squishy paddles, vortex mod, the lightning rod, and of course the quick exhaust piston housing, or QEPH. All of those mods put together, you will notice some big changes in your Cyclone feed. So if you have any questions about the lightning rod or the upgrade kit, make sure to email us at videos@hustlepaintball.com. And of course, you can find all of this at www.hustlepaintball.com. Thanks guys!